Hey, it's March 25th, day 10 on the PCT, and bring this squeeze over here. You can see the effects of the super high cold winds we had yesterday. All day long yesterday, the wind was just howling, and it was cold, it was miserable, and that's why I didn't do as much filming as I would like to. Probably not going to do a lot of filming for the next day or two because all of our electronics are starting to die and our battery packs are getting low. Unfortunately, we haven't had much opportunity to recharge anything. Mountain Laguna, everything was locked up. The usual places where hikers go to upload videos and recharge their electronics, those places were all closed up. So we're going to have to really start rationing battery power. Might even ask my daughter back home to send us a solar panel so we can have a backup source of electronics for the rest, if the rest of the trip is going to be like this. But the wind is still blowing really hard out there. We're going to try and put in another 10 miles or more today if we can, but first we need to get packed up and get out of here. This was our tent site last night. We're actually down in a kind of a little wash or riverbed. So luckily for us it didn't rain last night, but gave us a little bit of shelter from the wind, but boy, it's still windy as hell. Well, the trail's finally starting to lose a little bit of altitude, meaning the air doesn't have quite the chilly bite to it that it did when we left camp this morning. But the countryside itself, while pretty, is still kind of, I don't know, a little bit monotonous, I hate to say. It's pretty in its own way, but it'd be nice to see a tree once in a while. So anyway, we're gonna probably keep going another half mile, then stop for lunch. And if I don't break my ankle out here, it'll be a miracle. 100-mile-an-hour winds. Woohoo! Those are the very first spring flowers that we have seen on the trail. There's a plant right next to it that has these tiny little white flowers. I'm not sure what either one of these plants are, but nice to see some color. We were worried that we were gonna get to the desert after the bloom, but in fact the bloom hasn't even begun. And it's the end of day 10, and there's Thia making our dinner for us. What's for dinner tonight?
Thai chicken and rice, or Thai chicken.
Thai chicken, okay. Yum.
Thai chicken curry, sorry.
Okay. Anyway, here's a view of the camp area. It's a nice little flat spot. For some reason we have it all to ourselves. In fact, we only saw 2 other backpackers all day long. So I don't know if we have a reputation that makes people want to avoid us.
It's the smell.
It is weird being out here and not seeing anybody else. The end of day 10, we did 10 miles today. We finished up at mile 65.5, I think it was. So over the 10 days, that's just an average of 6.5 miles. Although we did have a 0, actually a 0.5, I guess, at Mount Laguna. So that slowed us down quite a bit. But we wanted to start out slow. We wanted to make sure we weren't going to overdo it, risk an injury. And that was one of the reasons we started in the middle of March, so that we would give ourselves plenty of time to slowly hike north and get our bodies used to the strain of a through hike. Neither of us are spring chickens, and you know, we're not in the top physical shape, and we got some injuries to compensate for. So I think we're doing it right. But every day we feel a little bit better, a little bit stronger, and we're making a little bit further progress north. So far so good.
Having a good time.
Yep, having a great time.
Ken bringing out his inner seamstress.
Snagged my kilt yesterday and ripped all the stitching out of 2 of the pleats using needle and dental floss to stitch the pleats back together again. Thanks for teaching me to sew, Mom. Okay, we're getting ready to break camp, and not sure how well you can tell it. Probably can't tell it at all, but it's actually snowing right now. So yeah, let's get some contrast here. Anyway, may have to just take my word for it, but it's cold, 34 degrees, and boy, this is spring in the desert. Trying to hike up this road, which I guarantee is steeper than it looks like on camera, but because it rained all night last night, this road is muddy. It's like trying to walk uphill on a freaking treadmill, just slipping and sliding all over the place, burning a lot of energy. Okay, it's about noon on day 11, March 26th. Right now we're sitting, I guess, what do you say, mile 60?
66.
66. Just grabbing a quick snack before we get back on the trail again. Planning to get close to Scissors Crossing tonight, spend the night there, and then hitchhike into Julian tomorrow morning.